I mean, even just coming back to the subjects that we'll talk about today, what is being feminine? What is being femininity to you? Because now we're in an era where it's very, we can't even define what a woman is anymore. Like it's,
I know, it's crazy. It's a head job,
yeah,
so to speak. Right?
Yeah, it's
designed to confuse. Yes. So, how I describe it with men as well. So there's an authentic masculine, and there's a weak masculine. There's an authentic feminine, and there's a destructive feminine. I suppose there's a destructive masculine as well. There's two sides. Like there's always two sides to everything.
So the weak is the destructive. Right.
So the feminine that's destructive, she's very masculine. Right, in her, and she can be very. There's times that we need to be like that. Like I was part of the first feminist group, so don't throw stones at me, right? But extreme feminism today has gone way too far the other way, and it's really destructive to the guys. Like the guys aren't needed anymore.
They're trash.
Yeah, and women are playing the game of being a guy, playing the guy, and the feminine, but a woman can be the divine feminine, have power. She's empowered. She's got more power that way. She doesn't have to be in this competitive, masculine sort of way of being. Occasionally we need to do that, right, to get a job or whatever. But there's a time and a place for it, but not to stay in that.
Right. And it's interesting because a lot of women don't understand the power in femininity. We just see that as weakness.
It's weak,
right?
Yes.
And then we've been sort of brainwashed to think the man is powerful. Let's be the man. And the men are looking at us like, first of all, you don't want to come over here. It's pretty tough on this end, being a man in this world. But also, they look at women being like, you have so much power in your sensitivity, your nurturing, your emotional,
and in your
intuitive,
sexuality,
sexuality, and in your intuitiveness,
yes.
the things that we take for granted, but we're just there trying to like make ourselves so tough, and then I just want to ask all these extreme feminists in 20 years, how's that going for you?
Yeah, how's that working? That's right. Like there's big fallout, and women are paying a high price for free sex.
Yeah.
Paying a high price for playing that game. So, I'll give you an example. I had to help my son move into an apartment. This was years ago, him and his girlfriend. Well, I didn't have to, but I was. Yeah. And they weren't there, so I had to open the place up and let the removalists in, right? And the removalists couldn't get the table into the apartment, right? And he said, have you got any tools in your car or whatever? I'm going to have to undo this table, right? I said, just go downstairs. There's some young people sitting down below having a drink or whatever. I'll ask the guys down there, whatever, if they've got tools or whatever. So I go down there. And the guys are like, yeah, I'll come up and help and blah, blah, blah. But there was this woman took over, young girl, she took over. I can do it. She was up there first. She had the tools. She took over. And I said to her, the guys were coming up behind her, right? And I said to her, it's okay, let the guys do it, right?
Yeah.
She goes, well, why should we let them do it? We can do it. Right?
You can.
We can do it.
But why?
Yeah, and the guys said to me, I'm glad some woman gets it, right? Because, that's emasculating the men. They feel that they're unneeded, and then the women complain that
they're not masculine enough.
That they're not masculine enough and they're wusses and they won't ask the men for help.
Exactly.
One of the most beautiful things you can say to a man is, can you help me with my car? Or, look, I'm a bit stuck. do you mind, would you be able to help me do this or whatever? It's like men need to feel needed.
Yeah. Yeah.
Women need to feel heard. But men need to feel needed and appreciated for what they do.
And respect is a huge factor to that I think, because women are like, well, I can earn the same amount of money. I can be a boss bitch. That's actually what girls are doing and talking about these days. I don't need a man. I have a sperm bank, right? I
don't need to get married.
I don't need to get married. And actually, because since we're going this way with men, I don't even need to have kids until way later on. Where I'm like, okay, fine, freeze your eggs, do all of that. But why would you also willingly want to be a single mom and struggle and carry both? I mean, being raised by one, it's very hard, right? So why would you intentionally want to do that? I'm not saying if there's a breakdown of a marriage or something.
Of course. It happens.
Yeah,
yes.
That's it. That happens. But why would you want to put yourself in that situation and then complain that life is hard? That women, and then also they see that single women. So if you look at men and being single, they're saying, oh, the epidemic now, single men, lonely men. But it's like, but if you see single women, we're called empowered, right? Which is like, what is going on? So even this whole kind of, fixing things in the like Black community. Women, especially Black women, have to be strong. So we've been seen as, it's in a way, I'm happy now that a lot of women are talking about it.
Also, too, Black women in particular, need to lay off of that strong thing. You know, that's a trap. Because when you say words like strong Black woman, it makes us superhuman. And it makes people think, oh, we can conquer anything. And it's almost like superhuman. Yeah. And so you have to be careful with that strong. You want to be strong, but that can't be your label, because that in and of itself will scare a man.
But, it kind of dehumanizes our experience and to say, oh, you're strong, you'll be fine, and we've been kind of programmed to be masculine, right? To carry the load, to get blisters on our fingers, obviously.
To be super women, to do everything, to be
do
perfect at everything.
Yeah, and then in my last relationship, after a while, I'm just like, I'm weak. I don't care. I don't care if anyone sees I'm weak. I like that he helps me carry all the things, all the heavy things.
Beautiful.
I don't want to be the person, oh, I'm going to carry that. I'm going to fix that. No, it's exhausting. And why do that when a man wants to do that freely and he sits in his power?